says that there we should be live. So just give me 2 seconds, Michelle. I just want to check that we're live in the group.
Okay.
And then I'll obviously introduce you and tell everyone who you are and how I've just found out how amazing you're doing as well. Okay,
Thank
yes,
you.
we're definitely live. Right, let me put that thing. Okay, so for everyone that's watching, obviously you heard me just chatting then. So this is Michelle, who was, when did you finish working with us, Michelle?
August, I think it was. July, August, I think it was. May, June,
Yeah,
July,
so
end of July, I think it was.
Got it. Yeah, so quite a few months ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michelle started working with us towards the kind of beginning of the year, finished around July time, so around summertime. And you know, when clients leave, we've got like nearly 100 clients, so I don't get to talk to, you know, ex-clients regularly. So we're just chatting. Michelle's told me kind of what's gone on since. I'm not going to give anything away, but it was a surprise for me, so it'll be a surprise for everyone else. But I think it's going to be awesome to share Michelle's story, because I think there's a lot of women in the group. They obviously see we help women lose massive amounts of weight. Like we've had women lose 40, 50, 60 pounds. Michelle's a bit smaller, so she didn't have massive amounts to lose, but we still kind of got her there and obviously be able to tell that story, which is awesome. Before we start, I just want to add, well, if it feels like I'm talking quietly, and there's some women that I've cancelled calls with today. My little boy's not been very well. He was in A&E last night. He went into A&E again today. So he's okay now, hence why we're doing this. But I'm talking quietly just in case. And that's why I'm at home and not in the office. So ladies watching at home, if you're excited tonight to hear Michelle's story, she dropped 10% of her body fat. So a lot of people will focus on the number on the scales or, you know, dress sizes or whatever, but 10% body fat is one thing that scientists will, or, you know, researchers or health professionals will say that if you lose 10% of your body fat, it has a massive impact on health. It has a massive impact on life expectancy. So irrespective of your weight, your height, any of that kind of stuff, Michelle managed to do that in 12 weeks, which is awesome. And it's really great to have her on. So anyway, I'm going to stop chatting. And so the first question I kind of got for you, Michelle, is so we can kind of paint a picture of where you were. So before you worked with ARC, you were in our group for quite a while, right?
I was watching and observing, just sitting back and, you know, a bit nervous to speak up initially, just wanted to see what it was all about.
So how long was it that you were part of the group?
Probably about 6 months before that, actually. And I think I spoke to you the year before that as well, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't mentally ready. I wasn't, you know.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and then I got in touch, started watching a bit more. Got
awesome.
in touch, and here I was.
So what was obviously when you first joined the group and when you kind of first showed interest, what was bothering you? Like, what was it that you wanted help with? Like, what were you unhappy with? Kind of painting a picture, and I'm sure a lot of women are going to resonate with how you felt.
Everything, I think. Mentally, I didn't feel like I was in a great place to be as healthy as I am now. I'd done so many diets previously and lost a little bit, and always crept back on, put it all back on. I wasn't big because obviously I'm petite anyway, but I think I was 9 stone 3, I think, and that was the heaviest I'd been. And I was getting older, and I was starting menopause, so it was a case of sort of try and do something. I was getting low, and I just didn't like myself and my body, and my clothes weren't fitting, so I wasn't happy in looking at me.
Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. I know, like, you know, luckily it's private groups and nothing comes out. So ladies, if you're watching, obviously if you're excited to hear kind of how Michelle did, but also to hopefully some more women can see this is live, just press the like button, the love heart button, and let us know in the comments below if any of that resonates with you. So if you're, you know, it's impacting how you feel, maybe you're feeling low, or, you know, the weight's kind of crept up, you've done diets and lost a little bit. So what diets did you do in the past, Michelle?
I did the herbal life, no carbs, the nom diet, which is sort of basically calorie count, a bit like Weight Watchers. It was called the Nom diet. I tried my own thing, smoothie
The app.
diet. Sorry.
Is that Noom, the app?
I don't know. It's been out for a couple of years. But I looked more into it, and I just thought I didn't join them, but sort of took all their ideas and didn't really do much. Herbalife was probably about the most I'd lost any weight, but it was very, very expensive. Other than that, I sort of just tried doing my own thing, which didn't really seem to work either. So I asked for a little bit of help, and I knew a lot of information, but obviously it's always room for learning more, which obviously I found a lot more out when I come to yourselves. And we calorie counted, which I enjoyed doing. And I wanted quick results, which obviously doesn't work like that. Like you said before, the scale was expecting the numbers to go down the scales really quickly, and they didn't. But yeah, got there in the end.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, 'cause like your before and after, the pictures I've shared are only like 5 weeks apart.
Yeah.
Obviously the kind of results you got are amazing. So we've just want to kind of go back. So in terms of the diets that you tried, so you tried like Herbalife and shake diets and no carb and stuff like that. And you said you've lost weight, but like continually regained it. Obviously, since you've stopped working with us, I'm not gonna give it away because I talk about that, but that's obviously not been your experience so far. So why do you think that, knowing what you know now, why do you think it was that every diet you did, you'd lose weight but then regain it?
For me, I sometimes binge eat on chocolate. I do have my snacks where I'll eat chocolate, and it wasn't just eating like a tiny bit of chocolate. I was eating more, so therefore I was probably eating more than my calories were. But because I was eating good in other, or felt like I was eating good in other things, I was feeling like I was maybe still losing, but I wasn't. I was still not in a calorie deficit, and I was still gaining weight, and I was still eating more than I should have ate. So although it looked good, mindset wise, I think I needed to really understand what I was doing to myself to be able to counteract for it to be able to work. So that's sort of what I found, I suppose, in the end.
And what do you think? Like, obviously, so just to kind of let the cat out of the bag. So Michelle, I've only just found this out today. So Michelle lost 10% of her body weight. Was it about a stone? Just under a
Yeah,
stone?
yeah, about literally about a pound under a stone, I think it was.
Yeah, in the 12 weeks, which is awesome. Like, you know, in relation to your body, like where your weight was and stuff, that's really, really good progress. So, and then Michelle was telling me she gained a bit of weight, but then that's all come off. And actually now she's lighter than when she finished with us. So we found that quite a lot recently. A lot of the women that finished working with us, like 6 months, a year, 2 years later, they're lighter again, like they continue to lose weight. So for you, why is that? What's been the big difference like with what you've done with us compared to everything else you've done in the past?
I think having a coach obviously made a big difference. But initially, I suppose she kicked me up the backside and gave me a few pushes. But then I found I really wanted it anyway. And then finding out that I could still eat what I wanted to eat, and I was eating everything, stuff I'd never eaten before, because I avoided it because I thought, oh, that's a little bit, I'm going to put on a bit too much weight, or that's going to, not work for me. But I ended up eating everything and having 2 snacks a night, which was fantastic, including my water. But yeah, absolutely. And I still do have them snacks, but I make sure one of them is a protein snack now, and then I still have my other chocolate on my packet crisp, whatever I want instead. So I still, some days I do have 2, some days I don't. But I suppose not having the restrictions, not being told that, the more I was told I couldn't eat something, the more I wanted to eat it. And since I have finished, I had my first quarter pounder with cheese about 2 weeks ago. In 2 years, my first quarter pounder with cheese, 2 years, just because I'd sort of given up certain takeaways, and I didn't fancy it. I didn't want it, but 2 weeks ago I really did crave this burger, and I really did enjoy it. And I'm still lighter, so I haven't actually put on weight either. So it's a win-win. So it's worked out okay. But initially, when I left, I put on a couple of pounds because I tried to stop calorie counting. And I think my portions weren't exact. Again, it was trial and error. So I went back up to, I think, 8 stone 7. And then and all the weight I'd lost with yourselves was without one bit of workout. I hadn't done any workout in that whole 12 weeks. Whereas previously, to lose weight, I was working. I was going to the gym 3-4 times a week for at least an hour and a half. And I still wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. So I think learning for me was that you didn't have to exercise. If you want to, it's your choice. But I didn't have to exercise, and I still lost that weight, and I still ate what I wanted, and I still enjoyed what I did.
We were just talking about that like before we jumped on live, weren't we? And how actually you've now started incorporating exercise back again. Like I just want to make that clear as well to anyone that's watching. Like, it's not that we say don't exercise. Like, we definitely are like pro exercise, but as Michelle's highlighted, as Wayne's highlighted, as Sam's highlighted, as Mary's highlighted, like as woman after woman we've worked with has highlighted, you don't need to exercise. Like, you don't need to stress about it. It's not going to have a big impact. So, but it, you know, if you love it, awesome. Like do it. And obviously, you were talking about how it makes you feel good, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm up early doing a workout because I want to. Some mornings I'm like, I really don't want to do it, and I'll lay in bed and it just doesn't feel right. I have to get up and do it because I enjoy it, and I know that I reap the benefits at the end of it. But before, I was going to the gym, like I say, for an hour and a half, doing 2-3 classes. And now I do 15 minutes 3 times a week. That is it. Which is like less than I've ever done. And I might take the dog for a quick walk as well. So my steps are up anyway because I'm busy in work a lot of the time. But I don't, if I have I don't know, somebody's got a bit of cake in work, which they often do, and I want a piece, I have a piece. I don't avoid the staff room anymore and think, oh my God, I can't have that because I'm going to like put it on. I've actually found I'm losing it. And I think mentally I'm being happier as well. It's all working. It's all working. And I messaged my old coach today as well, Sarah, and said to her that I've lost more weight. So I'm yet to put up another photo, which I'm going to do with my old one and this new one.
Oh, so amazing. Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Because I can feel the difference.
So for you, are the two biggest things for you having that coach beside you and like no restriction? Are they the two kind of biggest differences between what we've done with you and what you've done in the past?
They were the biggest. I've done calorie deficit before, but not like I did with coaching. And I found that calorie deficit wasn't so much to make sure I was in a deficit, because I always found I was even in a deficit anyway. It was more making sure that I had enough protein in my body. Being menopausal, I found that I needed more protein for my bones, for my muscles. And I found that actually worked, making sure I had enough protein and not as much fat. So therefore my portion size got smaller. I still had it, I just made it a little bit smaller. So therefore I'd have less of it. And that was something that really worked for me. So now that's exactly what I do. And I don't calorie count. Every now and then I think, I want a calorie count, but I haven't done it yet. I've still stayed away from it. So fingers crossed, that's what I'm going to not go back to. It's more of a test at the moment, just to check myself out, but I haven't done it yet. I don't feel the need.
That's really good, Michelle. So that's like, so one thing I should probably say to people watching is, obviously, like, if you watch these client success stories, for anyone that's kind of new to the group, if you go to the guide section, there's a whole unit which is just client success stories like this, and you'll see that every single woman's different. Like, so for Michelle, she quite enjoyed calorie counting, so we did that with her, because the most important thing is that whatever method you use, it's a method you can stick to. So for Michelle, she enjoyed it, but one thing I would say, and there's a video about calorie counting. So if you haven't seen that, comment calorie counting below this video, and I'll make sure you get that video. One thing we always try and do, now we didn't work with Michelle long enough to help her to kind of move away, but it's awesome to see she's done it on her own. One thing we always get clients to do is move away from calorie counting long term. And the reason being is that what we've seen is that people that calorie count long term, they either get bored of it, it becomes a hassle, they stop doing it accurately. And once they come away from it or they stop doing it, they start to regain weight. So as a long-term solution, essentially, it's just a method. It's just like going to Weight Watch. It's just like it's another method to try and lose weight. So if you want to see that video about calorie counting and kind of why we suggest long-term moving away from it, just comment calorie counting down below and I'll make sure you get that. So I'm going to kind of open the floor up for questions. I know there's already been a few questions, Michelle, so I'm going to send those questions over to you. So I know Stephanie's already asked. Yeah, so Stephanie already asked about exercise. You've already answered that. She said, how much exercise were you doing? So Stephanie, Michelle did 0 exercise when she worked for us. And how much did you say you're doing now? 15 minutes?
15 minutes 3 times a week.
That's great. That's brilliant.
I said, so yeah, 45 minutes a week, I suppose, is what that is.
Yeah. And Stephanie said, I tried Jane Plan. That was awful. Have you tried Jane Plan?
No,
never heard of it.
Never heard of that one.
And then I think, yeah, so Stephanie said, did you keep a food diary?
I did for measurements, just to put into the calorie counting, really. And I suppose doing that, then I learned about portion size. So once I knew roughly how much this or that I needed, then eventually when I come away from it, that was already in my mind. I knew that not over this and not over that. It was like you show with your hand, your palm, you know, of your protein and fat. So yeah, it's more getting it up here.
Definitely, I think the mental side of things is the biggest like thing long term. And then Stephanie, thank you, like loving all the questions. Oh no, she just said wow, like she's really impressed with your results. I can't remember who it was, someone on the post today, they asked about motivation. So they said, were you motivated the whole time? I think that's what the question was.
Not initially, I wasn't. And my coach sort of had to give me a few pushes. And at one point, I didn't even think that it was real, that it really happened, and that I could really lose weight. And, you know, I just sort of stuck with it. But it was my mindset. Your mindset has to change. And it didn't change knowingly. It just seemed to change and everything seemed to fit. And then I was just doing it and I was enjoying it. And now I'm doing it without you, and I feel happy.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one thing that I think
motivation comes.
I think some people think like just because they invest in a program, like they'll just there'll never be a problem. Like, but actually, I think that's the thing to kind of recognize is you obviously struggle with a bit of motivation at the start, a bit of self-doubt and stuff, but every single woman we've worked with has gone through like roadblocks. You know, Sam, one of our clients, she lost like nearly 50 pounds. She's had some really tough weeks, months even. Like we've had women lose 50, 60 pounds and struggled at times. I think it's really important for ladies watching this evening is to understand that it's not easy. Like there's going to be times where you doubt yourself, where you have plateaus. Like every woman goes through a plateau. There's going to be times where you might gain a pound or two. There's going to be times where you're kind of, you know, like questioning everything. Like typically with us, with coaches, it doesn't last longer than a week or two. But I think it's important to understand that that's probably one of the reasons, I don't know whether you agree, Michelle, that having that coach there is so helpful, because it helps you get kind of through that situation.
It is very helpful because you can sort of ask the questions that you generally think when you've got no one else really to ask. And the group is really good, so you can ask questions there as well. But I found that even now, I still slip sometimes. I still, you know, weekends probably my worst, and I have to be really mindful, because you can't go, oh, well, I'm going to eat this, that, the rest of it, and then at the end of the week I'll be fine. Hence, one of your things I read in the week actually sort of brought me straight back to, yeah, you can have your treat, you can have your snack. And I still have dips where I go, oh, you know, I say I don't like myself, and then I sort of realise how much I've achieved and how far I've come. And the end of the week, end of the month, I'll get on the scales, or I'll do a measure, and I say, see, that's what it's all about. But we're only human, and I do have days where I wake up not feeling great, and I don't want to do a workout, and I don't want to eat great, but I do in the end, because you know that's what makes you feel good in the end, not eating the too many bars of chocolate.
And then Claire said, did you find it easy? So did you find the 12 weeks with us easy?
No, not initially. No, I didn't. Not initially. First month was really hard, and then after that, it started to get easier. I started seeing a little bit of results, but I wanted more. I expected more from myself, so therefore it was sort of knuckle down and, you know, watch some of your lives, and went into all your different bits and pieces, watched all your other lives, and they really helped as well. Self-sabotage and all the things that I was doing helped. And it's not, scales don't matter. That's something I've realized. But I think last week I got on the scales and I was 8 stone 4 point something, and then this week I'm 8 stone 3 point something again. So it fluctuates, and it's not about what you eat the night before or 2 days before. It could be anything that you put on a little bit and you just lose it, but it's not the weight you put on for eating.
Chloe's amazing, isn't she?
She is amazing, absolutely. I do miss all that side of it. Absolutely, I do.
Well, like, just for ladies watching at home, so obviously I don't really do much of the coaching anymore. We've got like a team of coaches, but Chloe is one of our coaches. So she's actually training to be a counsellor now, but she's a therapist. She's trained to work with women with disordered eating disorders. So she specialises in like body confidence, body image, self-sabotage. We've got Jenny now, who's very similar. So in fact, Michelle, so you've obviously watched her videos. So what's so good about the stuff that Chloe puts out there and the coaches like Chloe?
Because some things, it's real, it's life. Like what she was telling you about, organizing your mind, not having it so hassled, and putting things into criteria bucket, sort of into the bucket, what's important, what's not important, working. And I still go back to that now. I still go back to, you know, praising myself when I'm having a bad day. So it has sort of gone in there. And although I've not done it for quite a few months, as in watched her or listened to her, I can still see her, and I can still see her, what she was doing and what she was saying. So I found that it resonates with, and it'll resonate with a lot of women as well, because we all do it. We all, you know, we all self-sabotage. We're only human. We all do it. And none of us are perfect, and we all still slip. So when I get to that stage where I think, oh, you know, on a little bit of a low, I then think of Chloe, or think of Sarah and what she did, or some of the other ladies, some of the workouts, the yoga. I find that was really good. And it just sort of draws you back in. This is why you started it in the first place, and this is why you're continuing your journey.
Love it. Some loads of questions this evening. I'm loving it. Loads of people just chucking in there. So Helen said, do you have a varied diet, and what's your top tip for increasing protein?
I have protein with every meal. So I do have, I try and get in a protein shake a day. I have a lot of protein yogurts. I'll go and buy the protein yogurts at 20 grams, and I have them every morning. So I make sure I've got protein with every meal. If I don't, you know, for instance, I'm out or something, and it's not really healthy, then I don't worry about it. The next day I'll just get back on it, and I'll make sure I get a little bit more protein in that day. Protein is mainly for me working out my muscles, my bones, and I feel better with a lot more protein. But I do like my vegetables as well, so I tend to have more vegetables than I do anything else. And I'm not a big carb person because I've only got a small appetite, so I try and fill up on the protein and the vegetables if I can.
And when Wendy said, does this fit into a busy lifestyle? I work and then have the kids every night as they swim. And I'm the kid's cab every night as they swim. So obviously she's dropping them off, picking them up and stuff. So she was like, yeah. So she said, does this fit into a busy lifestyle?
I've got a very, very busy lifestyle. I'm up at 5 in the morning. I work out till 6:30. I go to work by 6:30. I do breakfast club there first before I start at 8:15. I've got a job in the evening that I do twice a week. I walk the dog at least once every other day. So yeah, I just make sure I've always got a yogurt on go, whether it's one of the pouches that you can just sort of drive and squeeze as you drive, which is fine. You still get your protein in that way. I've always got water in the car. And I hated water, absolutely hated drinking water. And now I find if it's not in my car, I sort of get a little bit anxious. I need a drink. I need my water. And that because I drink so much of it. And that actually works flushing yourself through as well. So yeah, busy lifestyle, just take some bits with you in your car. It hasn't got to be anything cooked. You know, it could be anything, yogurt, some veg sticks, anything. So busy, you can still do it because that was my excuse all the time. I'm too busy for this, as Adam will tell you. Oh, sorry, I'm too busy. I can't be joining this group. You know, I'm too busy. I've got too much to do. But it works. And now I sort of have to try and work out what I'm not gonna eat out of the fridge rather than what I'm gonna eat because there's so much variety now, and I want it all. So I have to sort of work out what I need this portion and what I need for that one.
From my experience, like you can kind of confirm or not. I would say that as long as someone can turn up to their coaching call, which is like 30 minutes a week, and they've got probably 5 to 10 minutes a day, that's probably more than enough time.
Yeah,
Like,
more than enough
is that
time.
your experience?
I still squeezed it in, absolutely. I still made sure, you know, and there's a couple of times I forgot timing wise, and it wasn't because I was elsewhere, it was just because I wasn't used to the calls. But once I got into the routine of it and the alarm went off, I knew I had to sort of focus myself. And it was enjoyable because you're talking about what you're doing and where your journey's going and how far you've come or the problems that you've got. And your coach will go through it with you. Um, and they're only human as well, so that they know what you've been through because they've done it themselves.
Yeah, Chloe, you talked about one of the things that makes her such an amazing coach is she had like a lot of these. She's got like chronic condition, like chronic autoimmune conditions. She had like eating disorder herself. Like she's been through all of that before training herself to help people. And you know, Sarah, your coach, she has lost a ton of weight
She really
herself.
has, absolutely.
Yeah, we've got, you know, premenopause, our coach, like a couple of our coaches, like premenopausal, you know, these aren't women that are like, you know, they're, you know, some of them are are in great shape and they, you know, obviously optimize their health and stuff, but they're not, you know, they're not bikini content, like, you know, they've not always been in good shape. They're women that are relatable and normal, right?
Absolutely. There are some of us women, obviously, we've all got our points that we don't like, whether it's our legs, our back, you know, and I could never seem to get rid of the back fat. I could never seem to get rid of that line around my bra. And it's gone now. I've managed to get rid of it. And my other problem was my lower belly. It was always produced, like sort of producing out of my clothes always, and that was the worst part of me. And a particular workout I do, which is obviously just on YouTube, 15 minutes, it works, and I've noticed that it's gone down by about 2.5 inches, and I've noticed the shape has changed. So for women that don't like their little pouch, there is always a way. I never thought, 46 years, I never thought that would go down at all, no matter how much weight I lose, but that's going as well. So it's all working. It's all working.
So we're going to wrap up there, Michelle. You've been amazing tonight. You've answered loads of questions, and obviously shared your story. I know, like, very, very kindly, you've offered if anyone wants to message,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
Ask questions.
absolutely.
So, as I said, Michelle's not working with us anymore, so there's no, you know, there's no bias. Like, I'm sure if you have any questions about ARC, our coaching, I'm sure she'd be pretty open and honest. And I've got nothing to hide. So Michelle has very kindly offered, if anyone wants to have a chat with her, ask her any questions, feel free to get in touch. But I just want to say, obviously, to all the ladies that have turned up this evening, thank you ever so much for turning up. This has been one of the best one for like questions. Like, it's been some really, really good questions. It's been awesome to have you all kind of engage. And obviously, thank you, Michelle. Like, genuinely, I really appreciate your time and coming on and sharing.
Thank you for having me. I was nervous, but I'm over it now. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah, so if there are any ARC ladies, that I know there's some that have got some amazing results recently, it's not scary, Michelle, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. I hated from my first picture to my last picture. I never thought I'd ever see the difference that I saw. And obviously, your coach, if you have a coach, your coach will put the photos together, the first and the second, the third, and then I've got the first and the last. So you will be seeing the last and this new one coming up as well.
Yeah. Make sure you put that in the group, Michelle.
I will do that. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you ever so much for this evening, Michelle. And if
welcome.
you know, if there's anything you need, got any questions, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely, I know you're always there. Thank you very much, Adam.
All right. Take care.
Take
Good
care.
night, everyone.
Bye.